Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today we're going to be mowing 30 acres of hay with this sickle bar mower on the TYM 574. Now, the exact mower that I'm using is a Moschio Fiore 8-foot sickle bar. It's hydraulically actuated. You can get it manually or hydraulically operated. This one raises and lowers hydraulically. I want to say thank you first to Phil at Small Farm Innovations. He's provided all of the equipment I'm using in this video series about baling hay with smaller equipment. That includes the baler and the rake and the cutter. So I really appreciate him for giving me the ability to make this video series. Now, I've got 30 acres to get baled, and I want to get it all done today. So I'm going to get started cutting. We'll record part of that, and then afterwards, I'll walk you around this cutter, tell you what I like about it, and what my experience was like the first time using it. I've wanted a sickle bar for a long time, and I think I've got some other uses besides this hay. But right now, I just need to get started and get cutting.
So I definitely prefer mowing in the other direction where the sickle bar is on the inside of the tractor. It makes it a lot easier to tell where you've cut and be more efficient mowing. But the first round I did with the mower towards the fence so that I could mow up close to the fence. I actually did 2 loops this way and then switched directions. I'm getting ready to show the tack so that I can show the RPMs I'm running at. Phil told me that you're much better off running this around 2,000 RPMs instead of 2,500. Now, that's engine RPMs, but in terms of the PTO, you're at 400 instead of 540.
Now, it's making a beautiful cut, low to the ground, looks great.
Phil gave me that same advice on the PTO speed in regards to the hay cutter and the hay rake. He said they just do better if you run them a little bit slower, and they last longer, they cut better, they rake better. And I will say I don't love putting a lot of hours on my tractor at the lower RPM. I generally like to keep it throttled up while working. But he's the expert on this equipment, so I'm following his advice. In the next shot, you can see the way this cutter lays the hay over. And I really like it because I can see how well it's cutting, and I just keep my tire in that track where the hay is laid over. So after one use, I would say I really like this sickle bar. And I'm curious how many of you watching this video have experience using both a disc mower and a sickle bar mower, and which one you prefer. Now, this is brand new, but it leaves an amazing cut, and it allows me to have a longer mower. So those are a couple of advantages. I also like that it's hydraulic in raising and lowering. That makes it more convenient, and I think this could be handy for mowing around the pond as well. It came with an extra cutting blade, which was also really handy. So my first impression is that this is a great option for cutting my hay.
All right, so I've got the first field done. This is the biggest field. I'd say it's about 12 acres out of the 30 that I have to do. And I'm gonna probably be out here after dark. So I think I'll go ahead and film the end of the video now while we've got enough light to see the equipment. Like I said at the beginning, this is a Mower sickle bar mower. I've shown a lot of videos with a Mower flail mower in the past. It's an Italian company. They make a really high quality product. Everything to me, everything I look at and see on this seems to be top of the line build quality. I think this mower is a perfect pairing for this tractor with an 8-foot sickle bar on a 55 horse tractor that has plenty of weight to support it, because that sickle bar is pretty heavy by the time it hangs out 8 foot. I don't really feel it back there. I've got fluid in the tires. The tractor probably weighs close to 6,000 pounds fully loaded down like this. I actually had quite a bit of assembly and setup work to do, but I was going to film that, but then as I thought about it, normally the end user doesn't do that setup work. You don't normally have to build this unit. It comes to the dealership, it's built at the dealership, and then you pick it up there. It was shipped direct here for me so that I could get my cutting done before the weather changes. So let's take a closer look at this thing. This right here is an optional piece of equipment that comes along with the upgrade to the hydraulic lift. So this did not come on the assembly. There's another manual lifting setup that I didn't get. But there's your hydraulic cylinder. And that cylinder runs down here and bolts on to the cutting head. That's what raises and lowers it. You've got 2 points right here. These are the lobes that as they turn, they move your actual cutting teeth up and down. So those 2 points are in constant motion, and because of that, those are your frequent grease areas. It actually says to grease those every 2 hours of use. There's 4 grease zerks right there. And here's what your actual sickle bar looks like. You can see all these serrated cutting edges that cut as it crosses across these orange teeth here. I don't know if you can see on the underside that those serrations go all the way back. So I think as the end of this wears off, you'll still have that serration. So it's almost like a self-sharpening design from the way it looks to me. I didn't really understand what this tail was for when I've seen them before, but now I get it. This kind of creates a windrow. As you cut, it pushes that little bit of material in off your cut, and what that gives you, so you can see it's got a perfectly clean cut. That lets you know that your sickle bar is still cutting well, and it lets you drive with your tire not going up over the edge of this, so you get a nice smooth travel. Now I need to get to work and get all this cut and raked and baled within the next couple days. So I'm gonna put the camera away and just get to work. But I really appreciate Phil from Small Farm Innovations providing me with this piece of equipment to use in these videos. If you guys are looking for any type of hay equipment, he's got from about 4 foot by 5 foot bigger round bales all the way to the miniature round bales that you'd run behind a 25 horsepower tractor. So if you don't have a big 100 horsepower tractor but you'd like to cut your own hay, reach out to Phil from Small Farm Innovations, and they have a wide range of different types of cutters, rakes, tedders, and balers. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.